ThaiPBS English News Service. I'm Rungtip Chonapalai. Though the post-flood Thai economy is back on track, the million-dollar question is, will the floods hit Thailand again in 2012? At least 4 water experts say the chances are very high. Here's Morbid Kundarin Kong Akara.
Associate Professor Seri Suparatit from the Sirinthorn International Environmental Park told ThaiPBS that seasonal rain will cover Thailand until May before a short respite. The professor cites statistics and scientific research that suggests that Thailand will have to brace for a number of storms from August through to October. The August through October period last year, Thailand suffered 5 big storms. This year may similar, give or take. Associate Professor Seri is one of the key members of the Water Resources Management Committee, or what Thais call Goyono. Despite speculation that floods will affect Thailand again this year, Professor Thanawat Jaruphongsakull from Chulalongkorn University's Faculty of Science says after March, this region's climate will likely return to normal as the La Niña phenomenon ends. However, he agrees with Professor Seri that November will see a number of typhoons and tropical storms carry massive amounts of water to Thailand. Royon Jitdon, director of the Hydro and Agroinformatics Institute, says he worries that the provinces along the major rivers will make every effort to protect themselves with dikes, and if they do not absorb any of the water at all, provinces near the delta, including Bangkok, will be the worst hit. Meanwhile, head the Asian Disaster Preparedness Center and former Bangkok Governor Pichit Rattakul say global warming makes it difficult to predict floods and droughts anywhere in the world. Dr. Pichit and the other 3 water gurus suggest that Thai must learn from the last year's flood and prepare themselves for all eventualities. This is Darin Klong Akara, Thai PBS.
The Constitution Court has agreed to consider if 2 of the 4 controversial emergency decrees are against the law, while Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Kittirat Naranong told Parliament today the decrees are essential if Thailand wishes to maintain foreign investors' confidence. 2 of the 4 emergency decrees will not yet be considered by Parliament because the Constitution Court has today agreed to consider if the 2 cases are against the law. The opposition party on Monday asked the court through the House Speaker to consider if pushing a 1.14 trillion baht debt from the FIDF to the Bank of Thailand and following the government to borrow 350 billion baht for flood expenditure are against the Constitution. Both decrees are frozen out of parliamentary debates as of now until the court's verdict is announced. Kittirat Naranong told Parliament today how essential these 4 emergency decrees are. With the majority Pheu Thai MPs sitting in the House, the laws are likely to pass easily. Kittirat says public debt will inevitably increase, yet it is worth the investment as Thailand must bring back investors' confidence, strengthen the economy, and protect the lives and the property of the people against the floods. The decrees allow the government to borrow money for post-flood restoration and pre-flood protection schemes, as well as push a 1.14 trillion baht debt to the Bank of Thailand. The debt is from the Financial Institution Development Fund, set up to help troubled financial institutions following the 1997 economic meltdown. A group of senators led by Khamnun Sithisaman remain opposed to the government's move, especially the transfer of the massive debt to the Bank of Thailand. Khamnun asked members of the public to keep a close eye on the government spending. The upper house will likely consider the remaining 2 decrees next week. Following the U.S. economic crisis, 2012 is not the easiest year for the world economy as Eurozone countries are facing debt crisis. The European Union ranks among the top of Thailand's export and trade partners. Eurozone economic recovery means a great deal to Thailand.
The Eurozone crisis has jeopardized economies and trade worldwide, as the European Union is one of the most powerful financial and economic blocs in the world. After the US economic downturn in 2008, the Eurozone debt crisis began in Greece, as well as the other PIIGS countries, or PIGS countries, Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Greece and Spain. Countries like France and Germany have attempted to assist and make sure that this sovereign debt crisis will not spread all over Europe. But the debt itself has had an impact on confidence among those doing business and investing in the zone. The questions of retaining the unification of the European Union have been raised, as well as how long this crisis will last and who should be responsible for the debt. The impact has weakened the formerly strong euro currency against other major currencies. The euro currency has been widely used as the second most traded currency in the world. However, preparations for a Eurozone breakup have been made by many banks worldwide. The European Union ranks among the top of Thailand's export and trade partners. Eurozone economic recovery means a great deal to Thailand. With the hope for European economic stability, one still cannot yet predict how this will end. But we keep our fingers crossed against the worst, which has yet to come.
Here in the studio, with us, His Excellency Ambassador David Lippman, head of the delegation of European Union to Thailand. Good evening. Welcome to Thai PBS once again. And we understand that the EU summit has just passed early this week. Any progress at all, or any good news?
Well, there is good news, because I remember when I came to see you about 3 or 4 months ago, the last time, it was in the middle of the floods. And at the same time, everybody was full of gloom. They were all saying, the euro is finished, the European Union is going to break up. But this is nonsense. The European Union remains, the euro remains, and it will survive, because in Europe there is a political will to ensure that the euro survives. And I heard a little bit your broadcast just now talking about doom and gloom. Yes, times are difficult. This is a very difficult time for Europe, but we are determined to pull out. And the heads of state and government on Monday of this week met, and they produced a big package for growth, and jobs.
Right.
Because one of the big problems is not just to deal with the stabilization of the euro, and there are problems, and we are dealing with it, but also there are problems of unemployment, young people. There are problems with small and medium-sized industries who need capital and need credit. And so we're bringing together a big package to boost the economy, to boost growth, to boost jobs, as well as stabilizing Europe. So I'm optimistic.
So any solid plan in terms of stabilizing the economy in Euro? Can we be sure that we can maybe wait and see for this plan to be implemented?
Well, the problem is, and I have to be clear on this, is that the markets react with the push of a mouse.
Right.
The problem is, with democratic governments, things take time because we're democracies and we have parliaments and we have treaties and we need to sign treaties and ratify treaties, and the markets are very impatient. But the foundations are there. We have now agreed to sign a new treaty, which we will do in March, to stabilize the Eurozone, and we are bringing much more money and liquidity to the banks through the European Central Bank.
Yes.
So these things will take time. This is the problem. It will take some time to get things right, but we are determined to do so, and we will.
Right, but the euro, the members in the European Union says like 17 members. Is it hard to come up with the consensus, or is that the problem now, or can we see more of the cooperation within the euro?
Oh, there's no problem of a consensus, because on Monday night they agreed on the text of a new treaty for the 17 Eurozone countries, and they also agreed on a stability pact as well to ensure fiscal stability, taxation. And so these things have been agreed. It is true that some of the countries outside of the Eurozone, like the United Kingdom and like the Czech Republic, have decided not to join in. But that's not a problem, because 25 countries will sign a treaty very shortly to ensure fiscal stability in the Eurozone.
Yeah, what about the PIGS country, Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Greece and Spain? I mean, are they okay now with the economy, or still we have to?
It will take time, but we have set up a sort of stabilization fund. In other words, to build a firewall around these countries to ensure that there's no contagion between Greece and the more healthy economies. So we're trying to isolate them and deal with their problems, rather like a patient in hospital.
And now when we talk about the euro, one have to think about the euro, the money. The euro currency celebrates its 10-year anniversary. It's kind of birthday. But the 10 years of the euro, we can see the euro is depreciating. Have you had confidence with that?
Well, I don't think it's depreciated overall. If you look at the 10 years compared to the dollar, we are still much stronger now towards the dollar than we were when the euro was set up. The problem that we've had is very simple. When the Eurozone and the euro was created 10 years ago, it was in the good times. It was in the times of economic boom throughout the world. And we never really thought about what is going to happen if things go bad. How would we deal with the bad times? Because nobody really believed that there would be a bust. They thought boom, 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 and no bust. But unfortunately, there were bad times, and in 2008 we had the financial crisis, and we've had to take measures to deal with the bad times in the glare of publicity. And it's been difficult, and that's why a lot of people are seeing the problems and seeing it in the glare of publicity, and that is unfortunate for us. But now we're getting it right.
So has the worst yet to come, or we still?
Oh no, the worst is over. I'm absolutely convinced that the worst is over, but it will take time for us to stabilize. And the world economy is starting to improve overall. We've seen some good economic figures from the United States, and I'm sure that Europe will start to follow as well. So I'm an optimist.
Yes.
I think 2012 will be a good year.
Okay, and in terms of relation between the European Union, the trade relation with Thailand and ASEAN, we're doing the trade for quite a long time, and the European Union is a very good export market for Thailand. How do you as the European Union this year see the growth within this country, within Thailand?
Well, I very much hope that Thailand is going to recover, because Thailand has been through a different sort of crisis, the crisis of the floods, which has also had an obvious impact on its economy. But I think that this year will be a year where you will consolidate and start to pull out. We hope very much that the European Union and Thailand will be able to start increasing their trade relations and perhaps negotiate a free trade agreement, because one of the important things that the European Union has said, not just to Thailand, but in times of economic crisis, the last thing to do is protect. We need to liberate the markets and have open markets, because that is the way towards growth. So we very much hope that with Thailand as well, where in 2010 Thailand exported 18 billion euros to the European Union. It fell a bit in 2011, but we hope very much that Thailand will increase its exports again in 2012, and we will see a development in our relations.
And last but not least, any confidence in doing business in Thailand, for example, especially for the European investors?
Yes, I think so, but one of the problems, and I have to say this, is that a lot of European companies who are here are very worried about insurance and flood insurance, because with the problems that you've had with the floods, the insurance companies have paid out a lot of money, but there are a lot of companies that are having difficulty this year in 2012 in obtaining insurance, and that is very important, and I hope very much that the government will address this. I know that Kun Kitirat, the finance minister, is examining a package to help with insurance, but this is very important, because we want the European companies to stay here, and if they can't insure against flood, then they may move out to other countries. So that's a very important element.
Okay, so thank you very much for joining us this evening. This is His Excellency David Lipman, Switzerland ambassador, the head of the delegation of European Union to Thailand. And that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Nung Tip Chonapalai. สวัสดีค่ะ